Hi, everybody. Professor Gustin here. You're in week 3 of lab and lecture, but I'm going to be talking about lab. And I can't believe it's going this fast. I hope it's feeling like it's going smoothly for you and you know what's going on. And if you don't, please contact me or contact Professor Pindell, whether you're talking about lab or lecture. I get a lot of emails, and a lot of times there's a lot of apologies that come with the emails. Oh, I'm sorry, da 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 da, and it's not. It's absolutely fine. I check my email a lot because I want to know if you guys are having any problems and if things are going well for you. You can tell me that too, or if you just want to, you're heard of something that you thought is cool, any kind of thing you would do in a normal classroom, we can do that by email. Um, but I appreciate the people that let me know when something's kind of amiss. So it is really hard as the instructor to always see things as the student does. So, our screens look a little bit different. What's displayed is a little bit different. So if something seems wrong, definitely let us know. You should be checking your grades regularly. If you did something and it's not showing up in the grade sheet, let me know. And speaking of grades, so at the end of week 1, so let's see, things are due Sunday night at the end of week 1. And so Monday, what I did of week 2 is I put on your lecture grade sheet what your grades were up through week 1 in lab. So now you can look at your lecture Brightspace grade sheet and see your entire grade for the course. Remember, you don't get a separate grade for lecture and lab. You get one grade for the course. So I'm making this the weekend before week 3 starts. So again, Monday, I'll update the grades for week 1 and week 2. And even if you've worked ahead, those grades won't be on there. Just the week 1, week 2. I'll put that in your lecture on your lecture grade sheet. And again, you'll see how your grades are doing. If there's any issue with grades, let me know as soon as possible. You should be checking them. I really don't like it when students get to the way end and I'm calculating grades and like, oh, wait, there's one of my grades is wrong. You lose a lot of sympathy. You really got to be on top of things and double check it and let me know what's going on. So this week, week 3, part 1, I'm going to put this video that I'm making right there. And the first thing I want you to do is the lab practical. And the reason I want you to do that first is because the lab practical is on the labs from week 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I didn't mean to do that. The lab practical is on materials from 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to be working on 5 this week. 5 will not be on that lab practical, so don't do that. Do the lab practical first, then do lab 5. So, and the way to study for the lab practical, in here it just tells you a little bit about it. We're going to be using Respondus just like you've been using in lecture. If you haven't done the Respondus practice in lab, you can do it and get 2 points. Even if you're sure it works in lecture, do it for lab also. Do the little practice quiz that I put on there. When did I put that on there? Let's see. Oh, I don't know. Oh, week 2, part 2. I put the Respondus practice quiz. If you do that, you'll get 2 points. I was having a problem with it going into the grade sheet. I'll fix that for you. Don't worry about that. Bonuses sometimes, I don't know. Maybe I just don't do them right. But anyway, do the Respondus practice. You're going to take the lab practical using Respondus. That means you're going to be using no course material. So you have to get those lab handouts from week 1, 2, and 3, and 4 and review them. You will notice that even with the virtual labs, if there was something I wanted you to remember, I wrote it. I usually asked you a question about it. And the answer should be written on your lab handout. So when you go to study for your lab practical, use those completed lab handouts. All the information you need to know should be on there. When I say a lab practical versus a lab quiz, typically lab practicals, you might have done them in other classes where there's props set up around the room and you walk around and you answer questions about the props. So a lot of what I do for this lab practical is I give you pictures of things, or I'll ask you to do something that we did in the lab, like calculate something or whatever, anything we've done in the lab. I might ask you to do, calculate the conversion of grams to kilograms or milligrams or whatever that is. We did some of those kind of things in lab. So make sure you can do those things. You do not need a calculator. Any calculations I give you are going to be really basic. So So do the lab practical. I'm going to give you 60 minutes to do it. There's 25 questions. And then here I have the lab. And again, I put a Word document and a PDF. So these are the same thing, just depending on what form you want to print out. And then within that, there's only a lab assignment and a lab quiz. There's not any virtual labs. And I tried to give you a little bit less for this just because you're doing the lab practical too. So so do your lab practical, study for your lab practical actually, take your lab practical using Respondus, and then do lab 5. And there's a lab quiz that goes along with that. So that'll get you through the first part. And then when we get to week 3, part 2, there's let's see, there's the lab is aseptic technique and subculturing. And there is a lab assignment, one of those adaptive learning ones where you answer the questions, and then a bunch of virtual labs. There is no actual lab quiz for week 3, part 2. And if you're ever not sure you have everything, you can always go back to the syllabus and look and double check. And I do it myself all the time. That's what I'm looking over there. I'm looking at the syllabus. And there is week 3, part 2. There is no actual lab quiz. There's just some virtual labs and that lab assignment. So anything you need me to know, anything you need to talk about, please let me know. And good luck with week 3. It's going, once you get over this, it's all downhill, I think. So this might be the hardest point, that it's kind of, you might be getting a little bit tired, but keep at it. And a lot of people are doing really great in this class. Talk to your instructors if you need any help or you have any questions. You guys have a great week. Take care.